on public TV, and it's going to be very difficult to negotiate anything with them at this point. Why? Because they have high value captured detainees. I don't know how we're gonna get out of this. It's does not look good. Uh, and I don't know. Setcom last time they posted, it was about an hour ago. So I'm assuming they're
Yo, good morning, guys. F-15 was just shot down in Iran. It's being reported right now. It is real. There's a search and rescue team out there right now looking for them, as Iranian armed forces are looking for them as well. More than likely, we're looking at 1 to 2 members of the crew during this search and rescue mission.
damp down the temperature. So we'll see how this plays out. And if we're just seeing some sort of a new weapon system they're using, or this is just a lucky shot, that's still to be seen. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm going to go to Myron real quick, and Zen, I see your hand up. Myron, what are your thoughts as well on this and the implications of this F-15 being shot down, the search and rescue mission? And I don't know if you heard this earlier, but there's also reports, local media inside of Iran also offering a reward for the capture of the pilot, and there is potentially a second member on that plane that was also shut down.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Obviously this bothers me. I'm not happy about it. This is a big reason why I was very concerned about getting involved in this conflict, that this was always going to be a reality. I know that the Iranians had procured some significant air defense equipment from the Chinese. When the attack first happened, I was wondering, why didn't they utilize this equipment that they purchased from the Chinese? And what could have been done was they kind of trapped the United States and said, hey, they got air superiority, or they think they have air superiority. And then what might have happened is they broke out some of the actual real equipment now. So I hope that, we're able to find our boys before they catch them, because I would agree with some of the other panelists here that if these guys are captured, it's going to be a political nightmare, and it's going to put us in a very unfavorable position when it comes to diplomacy. Right now, the strait is closed. We saw a barrel of crude hit $104 yesterday. It stabilized a bit, but we're still well over $100. Trump gave his address where, I'll be honest with you guys, he didn't really address a lot of the main issues. He kind of talked about military wins and everything else like that. He's kind of banking on people not understanding the more deeper and significant geopolitical ramifications of this conflict. But right now, I just hope that we get to those guys before the Iranians do, because if they're captured, this is going to be a big fucking problem.
Yeah, I also have some small updates. So Iranian state media is claiming that the U.S. forces are searching for the pilot of the fighter jet using Black Hawk helicopters, the C-130 Hercules aircraft, and reconnaissance drones. The fighter pilots are usually connected to GPS systems that can signal their location after ejection. However, the large area is being searched that the U.S. doesn't know the exact location of their pilot and using other methods to find them. So this is from the Iranian state media, Tasnim News. And also they claim that armed tribes and villagers are looking for the possible to confront possible U.S. forces amid speculation about the U.S. rescue operation for the downed pilot. And locals are armed, especially are armed with their weapons, and they're carrying out searches in the mountains and plains. And at the same time, also Iranian state media, they denied that U.S. forces have entered or by helicopters into the Ilan province. Also, there's reports actually that U.S. Forces, they landed on Khark Island. I don't know how to pronounce it well, Azi, you can correct me. But they denied that this is true. And also Iranian state media is saying that some Hebrew media sources are saying that America is looking for the two pilots, but I think they mean with the Axios report, basically. So until now, I didn't see any major confirmation of any U.S. media apart from Axios that usually has very good sources. And also actually Tasnim News is publishing also a tweet claiming that Iranian defense systems have downed a U.S. Black Hawk helicopter in Iraqi airspace, but it also notes that this is unconfirmed, but it's being spread on Iraqi media. And also they published also another post claiming that the Iranian forces followed the U.S. rescue bid for the downed fighter pilot. So it's mostly until now still coming from Iranian state media.
Thanks, Vladimir. Let's go to Zen. I see your hand up. Zen, what are your thoughts on this news that we're breaking and discussing?
I don't believe it. They had an internet blackout over there for several weeks now. I don't know how any Iranian news media is allegedly reporting.
It was reported on Axios. It's real. It's real.
Myron, let's interrupt.
CENTCOM said that we didn't lose a plane.
This dude's a fucking retard. Bro, it's already all over mainstream media now. This dude's a fucking retard. Okay? It's real. It's happening. Yeah.
Then I had mentioned this earlier. I don't know if you were here, but so far CENTCOM has denied any of those kind of reports. But I searched myself too. I didn't see anything unless I missed it. And, Vladimir, if anybody has saw this with their own eyes, I didn't see anything specific.
Yeah, of course they're gonna deny it. Like they're not gonna acknowledge that a fucking American fighter jet was downed in Iranian airspace. Like they're not gonna confirm that unless like something comes out. At some point, there's going to be pressure on them because Axios has already reported it. Axios has it. Defense blog, yeah, bro, it's out there. It's this dude is a fucking dumbass that they asked, the Zen motherfucker. Like, it's 100% real, bro.
They downed an enemy fighter jet over an island in the Strait of Hormuz, but the fact is that all U.S. fighter aircraft are accounted for. In Iran's IRGC has made the same false claim at least half of a dozen times. So this is from yesterday, not from today. So far, there have been no official comment on this from the Pentagon or CENTCOM.
Thanks,
They
Vladimir.
also said they sunk the Abraham Lincoln also. They've been saying all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is that fog of war I was talking about earlier. But to clarify one thing you said, Zen, regarding the internet blackout, there is a difference, and I think there's a misunderstanding. And of course, Adiraza, if he has any updates too on this or any explanation to add on. The internet blackout is more for civilian use coming out of Iran. Internally, they have internet and they're accessing it, but there are a lot of those websites, like the filter, we call them filter chikan, like a breaking of filters. They're not really working, and of course, with the Starlink being on the list of illegal devices, and there's like it's very difficult to get information out of Iran, get phone calls out of Iran, text messages out of Iran. But news media and government officials.
Ash Media, thank you for the gifted. Bear with me, guys. Sorry, shit's fucking.
Take that specific internet blackout as indicative of whether or not this is true, you know, or what kind of I don't know, information is coming out from the government or news related media outlets. So, Adiraza, do you have any thoughts on that to add on? And I'm sorry, I think you spoke on some of this as well before I got on. I would love your thoughts on that. On just the F-15 shot down, etc.
Yeah, hi. I just broke the news before you came online. That was it. Yeah, look, I think if you look at Mario's tweet feed, you can find video.
Carnage, thank you for the gifted sub. Down to Marco, thank you.
Refueled on air on Iranian airspace. So that's kind of a big indicator that there is an active search and rescue happening now. I hope the pilots are safe, and I hope the American forces get to them before Iranians do.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking real. Like, Axios reported it. Like, I know that the Iranians lie a lot. That's why I made sure to verify before I jumped on live, but it's real. This Zen guy's an idiot.
For the past few days, the administration has been, especially President Trump, Secretary Hegseth, they've been saying, you know, let's bomb Iran to the Stone Age. They started attacking infrastructure like a bridge or the Pasteur Institute, which is like a pharmaceutics institute in Iran. And essentially, and now we see Iran still has air defense systems. Or earlier I read some report that they believe even, you know, still Iran has half of its launchers, which begs the question about how Pentagon is going about its target bank.
They have more than half.
How do they prioritize the target bank? You would expect that they would go after military infrastructure, really make sure that the American armed forces are safe before thinking about civilian infrastructure. So there's a lot of questions about the rhetoric that I think the administration has to answer. And the way they prioritize their target bank. This looks to me, and then it's just my personal opinion. It looks to me there is a big chaos in the chain of command. There's a big chaos. It seems there's frustration. They want to get out of the war soon, and it feels like they're losing the plot, and they shouldn't. They should really prioritize properly. Anyway, I'm happy to hear other people's comments and maybe have
Thanks.
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
emergency
actually,
update.
Aladdin,
Emergency
one,
update.
it's really an emergency update. Go ahead.
Yeah, 3 minutes ago, Stars and Stripes, the official military magazine and paper, actually also confirmed it.
It's real, boys.
Can you send that to me, please?
It's
Yes,
fucking
I'll
real.
send it to you.
Thanks. I also wanted to, I saw a tweet, someone sent me a tweet from Ismail Manavi. He tweeted out in Farsi, I'll translate it. It says, one of the merchants in Yasuj market has personally offered a 5 billion Toman reward, for the live capture of the trespassing American pilot. So we're starting to see some of that ramp up inside of Iran, apparently. And let's see here. Here's another one. The announcement of the capture of the American pilot should have been read in Lori language too.
China's
For now,
while
up to here, apparently, because it's in the Dena provincial network. And it looks like there's some kind of connection. I don't know if Fox News is coming out with it and International is coming out with it, but we'll start to see some of those kind of come out throughout the day. I'm sure this situation is fluid. And for those that are just joining us, we're discussing the F-15 that was reportedly shot down. It's unconfirmed whether it was just one pilot or two members on that flight. There's also reports of an active rescue mission, search and rescue mission. So the situation is fluid, and so far we've been talking about the technical aspect of it, the military aspect of it, the implications of it on negotiations and peace talks, and the repercussions of it, and on the domestic side, how we're going to perceive this too in America. Aladdin, I think you wanted to say something else. I see your hand up. Go ahead. Welcome back, Samira.
But by the way, Hazi, also the report of Star Stripes, the report of Star Stripes is using Axios, so it doesn't really confirm it. And now also there's a report on Telegram channels. They claim they posted the picture of the image what appears to be the ejection seat of possibly a US F-15. So there's also a picture apparently.
Yeah, and I want to. What you just said was really important. So Axios and Barak are their source in the Axios story is from the Iranian media. So far we don't see anything updated with from the U.S. side confirming it, except for that Stars and Stripes. But Aladdin, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Sorry, I guess that was when I was trying to talk about the Stars and Stripes. Yeah.
Thank you. Samira, do you have any updates for us?
Hey, Ozzy, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm driving. I'll be back in like 10 minutes.
No problem. Just let us know when you're back. I mean, even the report of Axios is basically doesn't really. Seems that Pentagon and White House, they haven't responded so far. But also the fact that the CENTCOM, they haven't released any message, or any U.S. official have not denied the report. That could also be an indication. It could be an indication that something is shut down, because otherwise they could easily say it's not true. Although in general, like CENTCOM, they take always a lot of time to respond to such claims. I mean, they will not respond like in a few minutes. I mean, most of the time they take time. So we still have to see what the U.S. Will say about this incident. And also you see now also that the Iranian embassy in Thailand is mocking the downed fighter pilots with a sort of a Lego AI picture. And like Iranian media, they keep on reporting more about it. And also what's interesting that Iranian state media is denying reports that US boots are already being sent on the ground on the Khark island. I am always pronouncing it, I think, incorrectly, Azi, although I have a Dutch in my language, so maybe I pronounce it well.
No, it's fine. I think
yeah.
the Hormuz part is the one that gets all of us, though, because everyone says Hormuz, but it's Hormuz, like a O sound.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the same time, apart from this, there's also like a lot of reports about new strikes in Tehran. And also Iran, they just launched new ballistic missiles towards Israel. At the same time, also, there was also reports that the U.S. Marines are rehearsing amphibious assault on Diego Garcia, a drill, which was published on Fox News. And also there's a former Iranian foreign minister. He's floating a deal between the U.S. and Iran, but there was also a pro-Iranian government journalist saying that Javad Zarif, he doesn't have any influence on U.S. On Iranian decision making, and that the former Iranian foreign minister is not in the loop, basically, on decision making policy. So I go back to you, Azi.
Thanks. And I'm also trying to look up some news. I know there were several strikes overnight while we're waiting to get any updates on this particular F-15. In terms of strikes overnight, we saw continued targeting of infrastructure. A major bridge, the B1 near Karaj and Tehran area, were struck, causing partial collapse, killing at least 8, injuring over 100. Trump publicly celebrated the strike with a video and vowed much more to follow. So, this is kind of on par with what he said in his speech to the nation the other night, that he wants to get the electrical grids potentially, potential power plants, and other civilian adjacent sites. So we saw some explosions also reported, Baristan in the Esfahan region. We're continuing to see strikes against steel plants. This one is really big. There was a pharmaceutical research center, and for those that are not aware, the Pasteur Institute was in place since the 20s. So it's from even the Qajar times, before the Pahlavi time, before Mossadegh, and then the return of Pahlavi, and then the revolution. The Pasteur Institute is linked to significant advancements in research and vaccines and other things. So that's really impacted a lot of the medical supply. A lot of people are talking about that. We saw Iran retaliation overnight as well. Claims include the 92nd wave of strikes targeting U.S. radar, naval assets. For example, in Bahrain, we saw that Israeli sites. The missile hit in Kuwait was a big one. There was a refinery and a fire at an airport. The water desalination plant damage, that was significant as well, what we saw overnight. And then, of course, the attacks continued against Bahrain, UAE, Saudi. They downed a lot of those incoming missiles, intercepted those very, very cleanly. We did see 4 killed in a strike on Pasteur in southern Fars province. That's in Dagestan. And then on the Lebanon-Israel front, we also saw Lebanese health ministry came out with a report of approximately 1,400 killed in Israeli operations, I guess, overnight. And then additional explosions as well. I wanted to talk a little bit while we're waiting to see if we get any more news updates on this. I know that this space is typically markets, energy. You guys talk about, the markets. Right now, I'm seeing that analysts are warning of potential 150 plus per barrel. I wanted to get some thoughts from you, Gary, on this too, on the markets, and Robert and others, uh, while we wait for some of this F-15 news to kind of come to circulate. Where do you see the markets going? Today's Friday, of course. It's the end. It's going to be the end of the day in a lot of areas of the markets. Where do you see them ending today? What do you see the potential impact of this?
Well, look, I don't think the world can handle $147 crude oil for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. You're seeing airlines across the board cancel flights. You're going to have some bankruptcies of airlines just getting some funding in. You have France. You have about 80% of the gasoline in France is shut down. Look, this is I think you're going to see I'm going to just say this. I think you're going to see California gas prices near $10 here in 3 months.
All right, so guys, yeah, it's official, bro. They shot down an F-15. For those of you that don't know, those of you guys just joining the broadcast right now. Let me make sure I'm muted here. Okay, good. This is the F-15 right here. Okay, it's the F-15 Strike Eagle is an American all-weather multi-role strike fighter derived from the McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle, intended for the dual-role fighter program, initially called the Enhanced Tactical Fighter. So it's very important that this doesn't have like the same stealth elements as like an F-35. This is more of like one of the workhorses. So CENTCOM is lying, right? They denied that this thing got shot down, but it's 100% real. And they're going to have to come out and admit it, that this was shot down. So basically, this is what was shot down. It looks like we got 2 crew members. And the Iranian media is already saying that there's a reward for capturing them. So
the purpose is not to shut some other thing. Like, you don't do these actions. I keep asking, hey, what else is happening that this is disguising? Right? Because
also, it's important for you guys to realize that, like, you don't have aircraft flying that low. It's very dangerous to do that. So they would only take a risk like that if they're trying to find these 2 guys. Because we know if they're captured before the U.S. can rescue them, that's going to be a fucking problem, bro. Okay? Just so you guys know, the last time an American was captured by Iranians, it created a fucking diplomatic crisis. What's going on here? You got farm people shooting at fucking bruh. Wow.
insurance, you could build the case every industry is now uninsurable. I mean, these insurance companies are making payouts, if they're making the payouts. We're having deaths all over the place from COVID that, like, we continue not to talk about. Like, that hasn't stopped yet. So your demand is being deaded, right? People are dying. So, and by the way, we are at this point in our demographics in America where the older people who have most of the money, they have stopped spending, man. They have met peak consumption. They don't need more T-shirts. They don't need more Bentleys, and they don't need another private jet, although they can buy one. But where are they going to buy the jet fuel from? Look, I just priced a trip to Miami on a jet because I got a medical treatment from Tampa to Miami. In fact, this is a better one. I went to Vegas last year. Cost me.
All right, holy yap. Okay.
Today we're talking about the most gangster fighter jet of all time, the F-15 Eagle.
This video is 3 years old, by the way.
Gunpowder. He figured if you couldn't be sneaky enough to go. And here's the kicker, it's not just fast, it's quick. And if you don't know the difference, I'll elaborate. You can build up speed slowly and be fast. But being quick is the ability to be fast in a hurry. And the F-15 is like a drag car. It is fast the minute you hit the throttle. So fast, in fact, that you can argue that it could be classified as a rocket. Okay, hear me out. I'm gonna nerd out for a second. Generally speaking, aircraft...
I already hate this guy's voice. Oh, man. Yo, military nerds are insufferable, bro.
The McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle, now known as the Boeing F-15 Eagle, stands as an enduring symbol of U.S. air superiority, with over 100 victories and 0 losses in aerial combat.
Until now. This thing was put out 2 years ago, chat.
In this video, we delve into the capabilities of the F-15, unpacking what exactly makes it so noteworthy. The roots of the F-15 can be traced back to the late 1960s, when the United States Air...
Hey, smash the like button if you guys are watching on YouTube. That's the best way to support. Shout out to all you guys joining up.
Air Force sought a superior air-to-air fighter. Interestingly, development of the fighter jet was due to fear around the USSR and its development of the MiG-25.
Just a welcome.
As the Aviation Geek Club notes, by reacting to Soviet propaganda rather than...
Hold on one sec. Make sure I didn't miss anything here.
Until the point where they either bust and go bankrupt or refuse to insure anymore. And so I kind of wonder what the impact of that is on the market sometimes.
Well, this is the unintended consequences that I'm talking about, and there's dozens of those, right?
Yeah. Yeah. John, I thank you for joining us. I want to get your thoughts on. So we've been talking about the F-15 while we're waiting on some of the updates too. We kind of looked at the impact of the F-15 being shot down. I asked Eric earlier. He's not with us right now, but I was curious how much of today's price movement is tied to the actual disruption versus uncertainty with events like this reported F-15 coming down, reportedly being shot down. So I want to get your thoughts. Oh, I think we lost him. Okay. Um, well, let's see. I see he's coming back. 1 second. While we get him back, Robert, I want to get your thoughts on some of this too. I know you're in these spaces in the mornings frequently, and based on what what I was just talking through with Gary, when we talk about market psychology and versus physical supply, the markets seem to spike on headlines, but they don't tend to fully come back down. Does that suggest traders no longer believe in near-term resolutions? Are we seeing perhaps the beginning of demand destruction in real time? Or do you think that that's still ahead of us, that remains to be seen? Where are we exactly right now with this?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of follow Gary's flow there. I mean, a lot of things have already occurred that are going to really affect things. I mean, the LNG field that got hit in Qatar, they supplied 33% of the year's helium, which is required to make chips and electronics. Japan got 65% of their helium from those Qatar fields. These things are not easily replaceable. I saw one company said that they were canceling production of SIM chips, and that's the direct effect already seen from the supply constraint on the helium. So, and that's just one piece there. So, as we continue to go tit for tat with them, and they are hitting strategic things around the Middle East, energy areas, it's going to constrain. You know, it's going to put a big constraint on everything. Really, things are going to get triaged as to who gets access to what. You know, especially when you're looking at a time where they're talking about building all these data centers and stuff like that. I mean, that can't happen if you got a helium shortage. You can't build that stuff. You know, it's going to consolidate AI players because only the biggest players are going to get access to it. Biggest chip makers will get access to it to make their chips, and then the biggest players will get access to those chips. So you're going to see consolidation. I mean, the effects are going to last a while here, just from what's already occurred.
I want to give a little bit of commentary here. I think it's very important for people to realize that CENTCOM and the media have no obligation to be honest with us unless they get their hand forced to tell us the truth. I've seen early reports of CENTCOM denying this, this shoot down. And obviously, I think the U.S. government is concealing quite a bit of the casualties, damage, and obviously the Iranians are too, right? The fog of war. No one has an incentive really to be honest about casualties from troop morale, etc. But I think this is a classic example of us underestimating the capabilities of the Iranians. Trump thought this was going to be a weekend warrior war. And, now we're kind of paying the price for it. We saw crude hit $140 yesterday. This F-15 being shot down makes things worse. And, God forbid these guys are captured by the Iranians. They're going to be paraded all across the place and used as significant leverage for some type of deal. The American public at this point can't really stomach another Middle Eastern war. I think a lot of people are aware of the fact that Iraq was a waste of time and a lie. And quite frankly, this war is very unpopular too, unless you're a war hawk moron that doesn't understand geopolitical affairs. I don't really know too many people that are for this war, unless you're an Israeli or 50 IQ. So I hope we find them. I hope we get to them before the Iranians. But, this is just classic, underestimating our opponents and their capabilities. And this is why we're in the situation that we're in. We should never have been there in the first place. And that's why I've been against this war since day one. Yeah, there's been, Myron,
both. I mean, I'm Iranian. I'm also Turkish, and I'm also American. I was born and raised here, so I see it from like different viewpoints. And I think one of the conversations when we're talking about this war and whether it's a good war in terms of outcomes and objectives. But one of those questions is from the Iranian perspective and those that want to seek the change and desire for something different. Does this war help that? There's that question of it. Does it give the same rally around the flag effect that we saw last year in June? You know, when we're talking again about outcomes, there's
Well,
that lens. There's the US lens. Hold on. There's the US lens of does this also achieve the outcomes? Are we going to be successful in this when it started with the nuclear file was the leading file of all of this? We had the nuclear, we had the ballistic missiles, we had the proxies, you know, with the terrorist proxies. So when we look at all these files and we look at the original objectives, and then listening to Trump the other night in his 20-minute speech to the nation, you know, he made it very clear and outlined this wasn't for regime change, A, and B, we were so successful, we did all of these things. And C, it was almost like the culmination, that climactic moment of the PR campaign we saw, that comms campaign that started with Rubio just a few days before it, saying that these were our objectives. It was destroy the Navy, destroy the Air Force, destroy this, deplete this. It wasn't destroy their ballistic missile capabilities, but it was deplete it. And there are other military. And what Trump said that was kind of significant, you made me think of this, was that he said, we were surprised. We did not expect them to be able to fight back the way that they have been fighting back. And I thought that was one of the most honest things that I heard so far in terms of the perception of the White House, not necessarily, you know, the American public, but he did say that the US and Trump, they were all surprised that they were able to hold their own so far, and they were surprised with some of their capabilities. They miscalculated you know, the amount of munitions and military weaponry and assets that they had. So I thought that was really interesting to hear that from the president that night. And I don't know if you had a follow-up thought on that, or if anybody else has a thought on what I just said.
Sure. Well, okay. First, I'll say that this war serves zero U.S. strategic benefit. If we're going to be very blunt and honest here, I don't think it serves any real benefit for what we're putting in between the cost of conducting the war, you know, getting our bases blown up in the region, getting our radars destroyed, the enormous amount of money that we've had to spend on interceptor missiles and protecting not just our base, but also protecting Israel. It's cost us quite a bit of money. And to be honest with you, I don't really see any strategic benefit. Now, what Trump did was he tried to make this a nuclear problem so that he can go ahead and garner support from the U.S. base and say, look, this is why we need to attack them, because of their nuclear capabilities. Well, I thought we took out their nuclear capabilities during Operation Man and Hammer, so why are we attacking them again? This doesn't make any type of sense. So what he's had to do is he's kind of had to change the story multiple times. Another thing that they grossly underestimated was they were hoping that by killing the Ayatollah and 50 of his top guys, that the people would rise up and attack the government and do a regime change in that manner. The goal was regime change. They just didn't anticipate that the people would not follow along with their narrative. They tried to crash the Rial earlier in the year with the uprisings. They put Mossad assets, CIA assets, to try to go ahead and stimulate more ruckus in the streets with the protesting. They obviously over-exaggerated the amount of people killed, saying it's 40,000. I also don't believe the Iranian government that it was 3,000 either, but it definitely wasn't 40,000. That's ridiculous. And they tried to smuggle Starlinks in. All of this has been documented and been proven now at this point. The Israelis have already taken credit. Mike Pompeo was talking about Mossad agents walking alongside protesters. So the original strategy was, let's kill the leadership and let's hope the people rise up. It backfired. The people rallied around the flag and supported the government even more so. Even people that were pissed off at the government, that had their grievances for the sanctions and everything else, rallied around the government, because at the end of the day, they hate the United States and Israel far more than they hate their government. So it completely backfired.
That's not true, Myron. I mean, there's no internet in Iran, so we really don't know if there's a rally to the flag effect or not, because there's nothing coming outside of Iran. So,
okay, I've seen.
So we don't know.
Hold on. I'll tell you this. I've seen this. I've seen people on the streets, and they get bombed. Instead of running in circles, you know what they do? They fucking scream Allahu Akbar. So I don't know about you, but if
that's
any
like
other
Iranian state media videos that are coming out.
Sure,
I mean, that's like propaganda by Iran.
Look. The point I'm trying to make to you is this. Okay. Even the people that don't like the government, okay? I'm not doubting that there's people that have issues with the government. However, if a foreign nation bombs you and attacks you and tries to destroy your country, and they've been doing so since 1953, the people are more than likely going to rally around the flag. So our goal of getting a regime change via the people clearly did not work. Because if it did, we would have had a regime change, and we didn't, which is why we have to readjust our strategy, and we're figuring things out as we go.
So I'll add this, Vladimir. I think you're both, there's truth to what you're both saying. Okay, so pragmatically, objectively,
Bro, these motherfuckers can't touch me, bro. They need to shut the fuck up. These niggas don't understand.
there is a rally around the flag. We are seeing video footage now, whether it's engineered or promoted in a way to engineer the sentiment and what we see as a public in the West, or a reality, which I think it kind of is somewhere a little bit of both. There are people that are kind of changing their tune when it comes to the war. I know many people personally that that are opposed to the regime, want to see regime change, have been very, very public about, even, and for those that are not aware, when Iranians use the word mullah, that's in a direct criticism and a direct attack on the regime when they circulate terms like mullahs. So there are a lot of people that say, oh, the mullah regime, I'm done. I want them out. I'm, a revolutionary. I want them gone. Now switching their tune a little bit during the war, saying, you know what, it's wartime. They just hit Pasteur Institute. They just hit this. Right now, our focus is on the war, and then we'll deal with the government that we want to get rid of later. So there is a little bit of that we're seeing. So even in those videos that circulate and those imageries of people getting in the streets and rallying around it, there are some people in there that are still vehemently opposed to the regime, but right now see it as some foreign issue that is impacting their country and their right to do what they want with their agency to get rid of the regime. So, but hold on, Myron. But I want to say also that Vladimir isn't necessarily wrong in the fact that they are also using that to garner more support around the rally of the flag. But there's sweet spot in there, okay? And so that still remains to be seen what comes after this. But I tend to, I look at anecdotal evidence and I look at what we saw last year with the 12 days, with the rally around the flag. A lot of the sentiment changed. The violent protests that occurred in January really impacted the way that people see this and what their expectations were with the war. And I personally saw a shift in the sentiment of people that were aligned with the war, thought this war is good, this was going to achieve the outcomes that they want as Iranians. But then when Trump's speech happened the other night, I saw an immediate shift in many people since Trump's speech that kind of have walked that back and said, okay, maybe this is not what we signed up for. This is not, he explicitly said this is not regime change. So there is a lot of confusion. A lot of Iranians are confused about what to feel right now. So I think we need to give.
Also, it's the comment of the Stone Age comment by, I don't know if it was by Trump or Hegseth.
Well, I mean, Hegseth came out and tweeted that sentence immediately during the speech about the Stone Age. As soon as Trump said it, that was one of the first tweets that came out from the administration on that level. And all it was just that one sentence, we're taking it back to the Stone Ages. So there's a lot to unpack there, Myron, but
they were against, guys, like, look, you guys can say it's propaganda all day. You can't fake a group of people being out in the streets getting hit by.
I don't disagree with that.
I let you speak.
No. I don't want to go into that conversation, though, because we also see some other hands, but I just want to make it clear that both of you are on the right track when you're looking at this, because
you're not going to let me say respond to it.
Hold on, Myron. Hold on. I wanted to finish my point.
You've been yapping all the time.
What I'm trying to say is, okay, so that's not how we're going to do this. My final point on this is that you can say it's propaganda. You can say it's not propaganda. I agree with you. And I'm saying it now that you can't manipulate what you see as real and call it propaganda. There are people that are rallying around the flag. There are people that are rallying and against this war, that are nationalistic, that are patriotic inside of Iran, and don't fall into this narrative that everybody's saying that everyone in Iran wants regime change. I agree with you on that. And there are also people that are frustrated and want to see regime change, and right now put that on pause because the country is being bombed. Then there are people that are actively celebrating it. So Iranians are not a monolith. So you're both, that's my point, and I want to finish on that, and we'll come back to you, Myron. But I want to get we were discussing some of the markets and the reactions to the markets, and I want to get back to that if you don't mind. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
know that
gonna
we've
say
got
what I gotta
John.
say because we just spent like 4 minutes just talking.
Yeah, so
the
we
whole
got
time.
John. John has been trying to come up 3 times, so I'm going to go to John.
Myron,
No,
come on,
no,
brother.
no. Are you fucking
I'm going to
serious?
go.
Space for a while here,
Yo,
bro.
are you
John
fucking
G,
serious?
hold on 1 second.
Are you
I want to go
fucking
to John
serious?
Hendricks.
Yes, I'm
He's been
serious.
trying.
You're a fucking nobody.
John Hendricks.
You got
John
you're
Hendricks
like
has been.
you're a fucking nobody.
John G, please.
This is
John
fucking
Hendricks
ridiculous.
has
This
been
space
trying to
retarded.
speak several
Get
times.
the fuck out of here. This is fucking retarded. Bro, fucking stupid. She didn't want to fucking let me talk because she knew I was going to bake them. This bitch is stupid. She is so stupid. You cannot fake, okay, getting bombed and then saying, that's propaganda. Nigga, they fucking sat there and said, Allahu Akbar. I got 5 different videos of them doing this shit. I got 5 fucking videos of them doing that shit. You can't fake getting bombed, bro. And then saying, yeah. Like what? There's multiple videos of that shit. I've shown you guys. Yo, this is why women are retarded, bro. Why the fuck are we letting them run spaces? In-fucking credible. I tried to be fucking patient. But these fucking no-name motherfuckers, every time, bro, they get the co-host and they just be annoying. They kept fucking muting me. They're retarded. They're fucking retarded, dude. Holy shit. Nobody knows or gives a fuck who these motherfuckers are. Like what? Anyway, I digress. Let's see if there's anything else. I don't think Suleiman has a space. All right, let's go ahead and go through the shit.
In reality, the Americans built the premier air superiority fighter of the 20th century. In 1969,
fucking retarded, bro.
After evaluating various proposals, the Air Force chose the design put forth by McDonnell Douglas. The design was to be an all-weather tactical fighter jet featuring twin engines and designed to outclass any potential adversary. F-15.
Like, how the fuck are you gonna sit there and yap for like 5 minutes fucking straight and then not let me respond? Oh, I'm gonna go to John. No, bitch. Like, fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Because I shut all these people up, bro. Like, these people are stupid. They don't understand that I'm on this shit 1,000%. Oh, that's propaganda. Oh, really? That's propaganda, retard? This fucking shit right here? Bro. Let me see if I can find this shit for you guys. Bro, there was like 6 of these videos I found that I played for people literally yesterday. It's like, bro, this war is retarded. We're fighting motherfuckers that cheer as they get bombed. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is propaganda, bro. Let's just fake getting bombed and having the people stand there and cheer. Like, bro, these people are stupid. Like, what are you talking about? Yo, why are we going to war with these niggas, bro? Like, this is stupid. Bro, I'm good. Like, you don't want to be at war. Like, look at this shit, man. Is this propaganda too?
شما صحبت میکنم هدفاً داره عمل میکنه و ما شاهد اجتماع حضور مردم هستیم در میدان انقلاب. ما نمیترسیم، ما اینجاییم، ما اینجا هستیم، مردم ایران اینجا هستن، حتی در مقابل پدافندها.
Bro, they're getting bombed. What the fuck?
در برابر موشک ها ایستادن مردم ایستادن، اومدن بیعت کنن با امامشان، با امام خامنه ای اومدن بیعت کنن و لبیک میگوین. مردم اومدن میگوین ما
See if I can find another one. for you guys. Like, bro, what? There was a couple of them, chat. I just can't fucking find them right now. That's the problem with Twitter, bro. Twitter's so fucking trash. But if you guys saw my stream the other day, like 2 days ago, I showed like 4 of them. Oh, yeah, we had the no kings bullshit, so this is going to make it harder. All right. All right, let's go back to here. And then they got Marines ran a full-scale simulated amphibious assault. Yep, they're planning to fucking really go in here.
Marines are equipped with Pratt & Whitney F-100 engines, achieving a combat thrust-to-weight ratio exceeding 1-to-1, allowing them to pitch straight up while maintaining...
Why don't I start a space? I mean, do you guys really want me to, bro? I could start one, but like... If y'all really want me to start one, bro, but like, Is this woman still running it? Here, let's go. We'll go on anonymously, chat. Let's see who's yapping now.
Being killed, you naturally are going to go against that country, even if you don't support the regime. And that's just, you know, historically how wars have been fought and worked in not just this region, but the course of history.
Oh, look, I come in and the person is saying I'm correct. This bitch is stupid.
I'm not going to jump to definitive conclusions one way or the other, but I do think it's important to kind of highlight that, you know, a lot of people here in the U.S. feel like this is an unnecessary war. We went to war on behalf of Netanyahu and Israel, and we are paying the consequences of this war in real time. Now, that being said, you know, we do have, unfortunately, or fortunately, if you take the other side of the angle, right, the neocon, war hawk, war heavy kind of faction in power in the U.S. at the moment. And of course, they are very much in favor of this. And then, of course, the midterms are coming up as well, Ozzy, which pretty much every Republican that I've talked to has given up. So, yeah, it's going to be a very kind of interesting kind of show of events in the next few days and weeks.
Yeah. All right, we'll finish watching this thing with the fighter jet.
Gaining airspeed. The inaugural flight of the F-15A took place on July 27, 1972, with the two-seat...
I'm going to reach out here in a second, guys.
F-15B completing its maiden flight a year later. The aircraft entered service in January 1976. The F-15 features a semi-monocoque fuselage constructed from all-metal materials, complemented by a substantial cantilever and shoulder-mounted wing. It can make sharp turns without losing speed because of its low weight-to-wing area ratio and a high thrust-to-weight ratio, making it highly maneuverable. The F-15 is all...
Yeah, like, yo, I'll be honest with y'all. This is why you can't, like, see, this is why I hate diaspora Iranians, bro. They're fucking stupid. They're so fucking stupid, bro. You know what I mean? It's like they're so fucking mad, probably because their family got, you know, kicked out of the country after the Islamic Revolution or some shit like that. So like they can't see things objectively. Bro, I don't give a fuck about Iran, bro. I really don't. Okay? I really don't. But even I have the wherewithal to understand, yeah, this war's retarded. Why are we fighting these niggas? Like, these guys are crazy motherfuckers. Right? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? You know? Every single diaspora Iranian I've met, they're all stupid as fuck. They're fucking retards, bro. They're so fucking stupid. And like the thing for me, guys, when I listen to people do war coverage, I get mad. You want to know why I get mad? Because I actually spend a significant amount of time listening to so much fucking news on this subject. When I see some niggas say some dumb shit, I get annoyed, bro. Like I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't even know. This bitch is over here talking about like, oh, well, you know, a lot of people protested and don't like the regime. Okay. All right. Fine. Fine. Nobody's disputing that, you dumb bitch. What I'm saying is, no matter how much they hate the government, they're always going to side with their government when an external government comes after them. Do you get that? Fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. I said that explicitly. She just regurgitated what I said back and tried to massage what I was saying when I said, yo, this war has zero strategic value. And I was actually writing up some of the bullshit that she was talking about. She claimed that we destroyed their Navy and their Air Force. Okay. Let's assume, let's go through this. Let's go through this, okay? Good morning, niggas, for all you guys that are just joining. We'll talk about the generals that got fired too. I didn't get a chance to talk about that, actually. So let me put that up in the queue. Good reminder. Like, bro, you put on a bunch of fucking no-names. I'm like one of the biggest accounts on there. I'm the most viral guy on that fucking Twitter space. Shut the fuck up and let me talk. I'm not trying to be an asshole or whatever, but like, yo, it's a meritocracy. It's a meritocracy. You let the biggest accounts talk. Everybody else got to shut the fuck up. That's how this goes. Anyway.
He is the senior most.
So her dumbass says, oh, well, they destroyed the Navy, destroyed the fucking Air Force. Trump in his address. Right? And then she said, their goal wasn't regime change. That's a lie. I'll tell you why it's a lie. Bro, how much fucking receipts do I need?
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is—
This was from February 28th when he started the attack.
Is to defend the American people.
How do I remember this vividly? Because I was on the fucking internet. I got the notification and I fucking jumped online.
By eliminating—
It was 2 o'clock in the morning when he gave this address.
Eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of—
That's because we interfere in their affairs.
American hostages.
That was the Shah.
For 444 days.
Bro's going deep into the lore.
1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American—
That's not true. He says Iran proxies. You guys want to know why? Because it was Sunni Muslims that conducted that attack, bro. So they use proxies as like a fucking catch-all. Oh, and you guys want to know a fun fact? The Israelis knew that attack was coming. And they didn't share the information.
Military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole.
They knew and were probably involved with the USS Cole. No. That was Osama bin Laden. Not the Shiites, nigga. Bro, what?
Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime—
That's not true either. The roadside bombs that he's referring to were constructed by Sunni insurgents. Al-Qaeda, etc. They made those bombs themselves, those roadside bombs. Fucking lies, bro.
Team's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against America.
How do I know this? Because the Iranians and the Iraqis don't get along, or they did not get along during Saddam Hussein's tenure, which is when we invaded. That's how I know.
American forces stationed in the
They had a bloody war for damn near 10 years.
Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas.
Okay, let's go off that. Why did they fund and arm these people?
Welcome, punch!
Could it be maybe Israel invading Lebanon? Could it be Israel stealing the Golan Heights? Could it be Israel expanding the West Bank illegally? Could it be the occupation of the Palestinians? Huh? Because I'll tell you this, Hezbollah and Hamas didn't exist until Israel started doing some bullshit. The IRGC didn't exist before Israel started doing some bullshit. Right? If you fucking kill people and steal their land, they're gonna resist. Right? Like, let's just be very candid and honest here. And quite frankly, let them fight. It's not our business. See, and this is the thing that really bothers me, because these politicians get on the news, they tell you guys they're the #1 backer of terrorism in America, in the world. But what they don't tell you is the reason why the Iranians back Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, etc., is because of Israeli aggression. Do you guys know that the Israelis bombed like 7 or 8 different countries over the past 3 years, bro? Dead ass. Yo, these dudes have bombed like 8 different countries, man. They've invaded several different countries. They invaded Syria. They invaded Lebanon. They're in Lebanon right now doing an invasion. Right? They went into the Gaza Strip, which technically isn't Israel. They technically invaded Iran by bombing them during the Operation Rising Lion. They bombed the Houthis, even though they didn't actually invade, but they bombed them.
Hamas that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while
no, 800 innocent people. Okay, 800 innocent people. 400 people that died were IDF. Consider enemy combatants in times of war, which is what that is. And the 800 that were killed, we don't know how many were killed by Hamas versus how many were killed by the IDF. So it's 800 at most. And of that 800, some idiot in the chest said 1,200. Bro, 1,200 minus 400 equals what? 800. Stupid nigga. Anyway, so 800. We don't know of that 800, how many were killed by the Hannibal Directive versus how many were killed by Hamas. Again, I don't give a shit about Hamas, but I do care about the truth. And the truth is that the Israelis lied about a lot of things on October 7th. Beheaded babies is one of them. Babies in ovens is another one. Right? Pulling babies out of women's pregnant stomachs. All lies.
taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on
That's not true either. We debunked this a million times too.
the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon.
There we go. Need to justify it with the nuclear weapon lie.
I'll say it again.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing I was going to tell this woman that she was wrong about. I was going to say, they don't have a nuclear bomb, dummy. Midnight Hammer destroyed it. See, they were scared. See, they didn't want me to talk because I know what I'm talking about. Okay? There's nothing more dangerous than having somebody that understands Middle Eastern foreign policy like to a deep extent like that. That's why they didn't want me to talk.
They can never have a nuclear weapon.
You had that opportunity, my friend.
That is why in
It was called the JCPOA, which you pulled out of.
Operation
Stupidest fucking thing you could have done.
Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordo.
Wait, what? So you admit you destroyed it?
Natanz and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do.
No, you didn't. No, you did not try to make a deal. You were making ridiculous standards. Their ballistic missiles can't pass 300 kilometers. They can't enrich at all. They can't fund the proxies at all. Like, bro, what?
They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't
No, that was Trump moving the goalpost the whole time.
know what was happening.
The Omani diplomat that was conducting the deal literally had a better offer than Obama did for the JCPOA, bro. But they struck the next day anyway, because it was never about the nuclear bombs. Ever. It was never about the fucking nuclear bombs.
They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties.
Bruh.
That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran.
They were never fucking threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We had the chance to see it and see what was going on.
We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand.
Now pay attention to this, chat. What did that stupid bitch say in the space? Oh, they don't want regime change. What is this?
Of Iran, I say tonight, certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government.
I mean, do I gotta fucking rewind it again? Like,
bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
sounds like me that he wanted a regime change, chat.
Bombocat!
So what the fuck is this bitch talking about? On day one of the war, okay? On day one of the war, he was telling the people, go out and take over your country after we finish bombing them.
For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future.
Yeah, bro. See, and this is why, like, I tell you guys, these people, these are, like, for those of you that's joining, welcome to the stream, guys. F-15 fighter jet was shot down, and there's currently a rescue mission going on. But I was in a Twitter space. Some dumb bitch in there earlier was trying to say that Trump and the administration didn't, like, push for regime change. Yes, they did. This was day one of the war. What is he telling the people to do? Rise up and take your government over. Sounds like a regime change to me.
Bombocat!
Like, what? What? Bro, they fucking lie. That's all they do. I got to keep pulling out fucking receipts. Oh, it's propaganda from the Iranian government. Really? I show a video. They're getting bombed as they're out in the street. Instead of running, they're like, yeah, we're getting bombed. Niggas are cheering with smoke in the clouds. Like, bro, there's not gonna be no fucking interior regime change, bro. I'm sorry, it's not happening. Okay? Like, what? Like, I'm like surrounded by retards, and it's painful. Let's see what Benny Johnson got to say.
We want the truth. What is the truth, ladies and gentlemen? Did we get the truth from Pam Bondi? Pam Bondi was fired yesterday. She's been reassigned. I was actually out jogging yesterday, and I looked up. I'm in Tampa, and I see an executive-style American aircraft, the executive branch of the American aircraft fleet, right? The baby blue. It kind of looks like a mini Air Force One. The baby blue, the pristine American flag, the polish, the shine, the shimmer. They all look the same. I saw one of those planes.
All right, Mass Depot, shout out to you. Thank you for the gifted sub. Gifted sub before. Top Gandhi, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Mass Depot again. Carnage XQ, Don DeMarco 101. Ash Media, shout out to all you guys. The 13th wielder. Okay, now let me read some super chats here. I wonder what Max Retard is going to say about the F-15. Yeah, that'll be interesting. One Chest says, W Morning Stream. Guys, if you don't want to be fat piece of shit, get with One Chest. It'll help you out with getting in shape, guys. I'll drop the fucking thing here for you guys. There's a link for all of you. You guys want to work with One Chest, okay? Mods, put it in. Okay, did anyone see Trump's proposed military budget, $1.5 trillion next year? Yes. Nate here, Myron, when do you think this war will end? It feels like this war is like Pokemon. Iran making U.S. look like clockwork, and not to mention the $120 a barrel. I'm praying this war ends soon. Well, we might pull out soon, but the war's not going to be over. They're going to keep bombing the Gulf, and they're going to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed. They're going to have to pay a toll. ZHC, what effect, if any, does this war have on China, both short and long term? It's making China stronger. As much as they'll try to tell you that it's not. Auschwitz gifted a sub. Thank you so much, bro. Yeah, guys, I literally got off for like 3 hours and came right back on because this F-15 got shot down. Could these motherfuckers, Myron? They won't let me. But it's okay. That bitch is annoying as fuck. Nobody want to hear her yap. I know, bro. This bitch should be in the kitchen making eggs and sandwiches. Facts. That was bullshit. I know. Shorty a straight bimbo. Yep, she's a retard. They didn't know I was on stream, actually. Here, I can go back in there if you guys want. If you guys want, I could go back in there. But they probably won't give me a mic. Knox, they intentionally filibustered you because they don't want to be proven wrong, particularly that Iranian diaspora whore. Oh, yeah, she's stupid. Real Christian men need to stand up and fight. The days of being passive are over. Was Trump correct in firing Pam Bondi? She never should have had the job in the first place, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Myron, I know we're on the war and emergency broadcast, but you were talking about Pooh and Gucci, who literally rapped on a song with Gucci about robbing him in a collab. It's called Still Remember. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, I did hear that. He said, I'll still rob you after a session. We got a bitch in the chat. I know. Jose Ramirez says, good morning, Myron. What time on May 1st ASU? Probably around 12. Hit up each Egyptian Menace. He'll tell you. Knox, shout out to you. Egyptian Menace. ASU will hopefully be in the noon. I'm chasing down those dumb campus execs. Boom, there you go. Rolls like the candy man. You say his name and he shows up. Yeah, I just don't want to go back in there because, like, it's fucking, like, these are all fucking, look, if I click this shit, right, let's go in anonymously. All these people are no names. Yo, this is why I hate Twitter, bro. Like, Twitter gives nobodies, like, the chance to have a platform, and it's annoying because they think they're lit.
From here.
Oh,
I know
God.
you've been
Of course, she's
also
yapping.
not an advocate of this war.
So, look, like, this nigga has a Ukraine flag in his shit. Totally astroturf. Nobody watches this guy. This girl, 6,000 followers, don't know who the fuck she is. This nigga, nobody knows who he is. And we know who Mario is. Like, all these people, bro, are like randoms, if I'm going to be honest. Super fucking randoms. Right? 1,500. And honestly, even if you got a million on Twitter, bro, even if you got a million on Twitter, it doesn't matter. Twitter's not real. Okay? Twitter, honestly, is not real. Okay? It's not a real audience. It's bullshit. Right? And I got like 400-something thousand. Someone needs to teach Myron how to run a space. Here's the thing. He's not even there. I don't even think he's there, bro. So yeah.
Came out and said, President Pezeshkian of Iran came out and said that, you know, we've used up all of our old.
I'm sorry. I can't fucking take it. All right. So let's go back to the F-15 thing. Get coverage on that. Let's see what the latest is on it. See, like, YouTube hasn't even caught up to it yet, bro. All right, let's check. I know Al Jazeera is always live, so we'll go there. We'll check Israeli TV too.
That is inflicting immense human suffering and already triggering devastating economic consequences. To Iran, to stop attacking their neighbors.
As the war
Interesting. As this war started, guys, if you notice that ILTV, Israeli TV, is never live anymore, them niggas used to be on 24/7, bro. I guess they began hit pretty hard.
Boom, boom, boom. Its second month, we can expect to hear more from the Security Council in the coming days and weeks. That's because Bahrain holds the rotating presidency of the Council this month, allowing it to help shape the diplomatic agenda. Gabriel Zondo, Al Jazeera at the United Nations in New York.
Now, joining us from Kuwait City is Badr Al-Saif. He's a professor at Kuwait University, official Kuwait.
All right, these niggas are talking about nothing. Also, very important for you guys to know. So we got an F-15 that got shot down by the Iranians, and then also an F-35. Both. Edgar Fit W Morning Stream. Yep. Got y'all ninjas, man. Okay, let's see what Fox News got to say. The propaganda channel. Kane, Trump has the right to be furious? Okay, let me see Fox. Let me see if I go Fox Live.
And I do want to talk to you a little bit about what we're learning coming in out of Iran. Again, I've said it a few times, but it is a claim at this point. What do you make of that? And if that all is true, what does that say to you that they are offering a reward for the person's capture?
We still don't know if this report is accurate or not. But anytime we fly manned aircraft over hostile territory, there's an understanding that something could go wrong. It could be a mechanical failure. The Iranians could have shot the airplane down, and we have some aircrew on the ground that require rescuing. So we do everything we can to mitigate any.
Oh My Day says, W. Martin for nonstop streams for you and Riyadh. Do you think the Trump administration intentionally let this F-15 fighter crew get taken down in Iran as a cover to go into Iran for a ground invasion while posing as a rescue mission? No, because this is that would be a retarded and insane risk to take. If these soldiers are captured, guys, it's going to be an extremely bad day. If they catch these guys, it's going to be really fucking bad, bro. Really bad. It's going to put Trump in a political fucking nightmare. For those of you that don't remember, back when the U.S. Embassy was overtaken, that pretty much destroyed Jimmy Carter's presidency, bro. So no, they would never do that to set up an on-the-ground invasion. We knew the on-the-ground invasion was coming anyway. Is North Korea to Japan what Iran is to Israel? Kind of. W Morning Stream, yep.
Any kind of circumstances that would cause our airplanes to get shot down or to be lost over hostile territory, but it does occasionally happen. So we have procedures for that as well. One of the reasons the campaign plan that we see being executed was written and executed the way it is to avoid getting manned aircraft over hostile territory while there's still a robust air defense. But that doesn't mean, even though we've knocked down a lot of the air defenses, it doesn't mean we've gotten every missile, we've gotten every piece of anti-aircraft artillery that they have. But we have procedures, and there's a Joint Rescue Operations Center that stood up that's sole purpose is to rescue downed airmen, particularly in hostile territory. A lot of people have been asking what sort of things does the 31st MU bring to the fight on the Tripoli?
Women, you can and you should do both because
video here and essentially hear about the bridges that have been hit or could potentially be hit. What do you make of that overall and the goal? What is the message there that President Trump is trying to send to the Iranian regime?
I think the bombing of this particular bridge sends a couple of messages and does a couple of things. First message it sends is that it's going to be more difficult for the regime to move around inside the country, either to fight the Americans and the Israelis or to command and control their troops or to oppress their people, which is obviously one of the things that they do on a regular basis. So not having this particular bridge, which is a fairly important bridge in terms of land travel in Iran, is a blow to the regime's ability to both fight the war and to oppress its people. The other thing it does is it gives a message of some hope, I think, to the Iranian people. So a lot of the targets that we've taken out, and there's over 12,000 by the U.S. and almost as many by the Israelis. But they're military targets or industrial targets that are away from.
I'll see what Benny's got to say real quick.
Surgery or not, what's the issue?
Right.
What's
so what was the issue?
Okay,
so,
a year and a half.
So this is a great question, Tom. This is a great question, Tom. Will you be Attorney General?
I will not be Attorney General. I'm confident of that. But I raised the point on
added last month.
Right now, there are Black Hawk helicopters. There are C-130s, Globemasters, and Hercules that are flying very, very low over a remote province, mountainous region of Iran. It could also be that the jet was not shot down, but had a malfunction. This does happen quite regularly, and that the jet had to crash land, and that nobody shot it down at all. It simply crash landed. The pilots ejected, and we've seen this before in this conflict.
That's CENTCOM lying.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what is the top of mind today, Friday.
They don't just crash, bro. Come on, man.
April 3rd, 2026. Iran puts bounty on American pilot. There are conflicting reports everywhere as to whether this is something that is, as to what the information is truly here. Okay, so we're going to give you everything that we know right now. Who will replace Pam Bondi as AG? Of course, we have Tom Fitton and Brett Tolman on, ready to go. We also have Dr. Red Light Moment. President has confirmed this. Again, CENTCOM is not confirming this right now. Search and rescue is underway. A dire situation, an emergency situation in rural Iran. Can you pop up where this is? Is in Iran is a huge country. I don't think people quite understand. Like, this isn't Kuwait. This isn't the UAE. This is a massive nation. It is a mountainous territory. It spans multiple gulfs, and it, of course, controls the Straits of Hormuz, arguably the most important waterway on Earth. And so you can see here where the shoot down was. Again, we don't know if this was a malfunction or an actual shoot down. It could be a malfunction. This would be the first time that a...
Come on, dude. It's a shoot down, bro. Come on.
Fighter jet...
F-15 fighter jets don't just go down randomly. Like, come on, man.
Jet was downed in Iran.
Just admit that the United States grossly underestimated the Iranians and their capabilities, bro. That's what it is. Donald Trump and the war planners are fucking retarded, and they did not give these guys the combat respect that they should have.
An American fighter...
They thought this shit was going to be a weekend W, bro. And now it's turned into a fucking weekend nightmare.
Jet downed in Iran. There have been, I believe, friendly fire incidents, perhaps in Iraq.
In Kuwait. Okay, bro. I can't watch this anymore. See, now, you guys see what I mean now when I tell y'all, bro? Like, yo, just, I'm sorry, bro. Right-wing political commentators don't know shit about the Middle East, man. They just can't do it.
Those pilots...
He's thinking, I think, of the AC-130 that was shot down in Iraq.
Survived.
Even though they claimed that it was a refueling mistake. Who knows?
That early on in the conflict. The U.S. fighter jet was downed by enemy fire. This would be the first time the U.S. military and White House did not immediately respond for requested comments. On Friday, Iranian state media published pictures.
Yeah, they're not going to say shit unless they get forced, which, to be honest with you, Axios has reported it, and it's all over the place. So, CENTCOM and Pete Hegseth, I anticipate that there will be a press conference today, chat.
And videos.
I anticipate there's going to be a press conference. This is actually fucking huge, bro. This is huge.
Showing the downed plane and the ejection seats. Let's show those right now. Killer Klein. Here we go. We have, like, what is...
Myron, how do you think Max after retard will cope with today's news? I mean, hey, I hate telling you guys that I'm right, but, you know, it is what it is.
Effectively, inarguably, I mean, unless somebody's faking these with AI, and I suppose you don't know these days, but let's go ahead and click on these pictures, please. And you can see the clear American munitions, the debris of a fighter jet, where it may have potentially been stationed to use. What class? A fighter jet. And Iran is now putting a bounty on the heads of these American service members. Anybody who captures a U.S. pilot alive will receive a valuable reward, says Iranian state media. Probably the most damning piece of evidence here is the ejector seat. The ejector seat here, a Lockheed Martin ejector seat, a very specific class of ejector seat that would be very hard to fake. I guess I could grab one.
They're going to use the pilots as a ground invasion for the press. They could try to spin it that way. But the rest of us are smart to know that ground invasion was coming no matter what. They might be able to fool the idiots, but we all know that ground invasion was imminent.
Dust it off, throw it in the desert. But this is something that, well, now is being confirmed throughout media and various military sources. The F-15 crew remains unknown. They do not know where they are. Their whereabouts, they do not know where they are. They could be hiding in the mountains.
Oh yeah, they're definitely hiding. Right now, what they're doing is their job is to not be detected and survive until they can get extracted. That's what they're doing right now.
Have been captured. This is the search and rescue mission. You can see that there is what sort of undercuts all of this is the massive search and rescue mission.
And they know they can't get captured. Dude, if they get captured, that's going to be fucking horrible.
That is ongoing throughout rural Iran. You can see the planes. Let's get better pictures here, please. You can see the planes. Okay, there we go. There's a C-130 Globemaster Hercules flying low.
Yeah, that's how we know that it's real, by the way. They would never fly these fucking aircraft that low ever. You guys, you know how fucking dangerous it is to fly that low? Like, rifle fire can hit you. You know? Like, someone can take a fucking AK and just start shooting at that shit and actually do some damage. It's extremely dangerous to fly that low. But they're in the middle of a rescue mission. So, and my other fear, too, is as they're trying to conduct this rescue, other assets might be put in a vulnerable position. You know what I'm saying? Who knows if these guys haven't been captured already? Right? And they're just making it look like, hey, yeah, come find them. Who knows if they don't already have them, chat? Who knows if they don't already have them? God forbid. But if you're like an Iranian military war planner, what are you going to do? You're going to say, all right, we got them. Let's pretend we're looking for them. Put out a bounty. Yeah. Put out a bounty. Because the thing is this, the Iranians know that that the U.S. will do everything in its power to find those servicemen. Okay? They know that. They know that.
You can see refueling missions for various Black Hawk helicopters flying.
This is a big fucking deal, chat. This is a big, big fucking deal. There's a reason why I went live. Like, I don't usually go live randomly like this for nothing.
Low across the region, and then something scary as of yet is that these helicopters are also getting.
Will they torture them? Yeah, they will. Unfortunately, they will absolutely torture them. They will.
Being shot at.
God forbid, bro, but yeah, they will.
So, of course, Iran shooting at the aircraft that are trying to do refueling and trying to remain. There we go. So that would be a refueling mission right there.
That is risky.
And then.
But you only take risks like that during a search and rescue. So, 100%. We got a fighter jet that was shot down. They're not going to fly that low, bruh. For niggas to take pictures.
Here, I sent it. This is Iran effectively shooting at. Oh, I sent it in the wrong chat. How it goes. Yeah, Iran is now shooting at the aircraft conducting the search and rescue mission using bolt action rifles. It's in the YouTube chat.
That's how low they're flying.
Please. And hope that perhaps this post is true from CENTCOM. The
CENTCOM is lying.
The Iranian media. So Iranian media is reporting that they actually have the hostage. That they have the American pilots hostages. That has not been confirmed. Iran is saying they're putting a bounty on the hostages. Iran is saying they shot down the F-15 fighter jet. It's all a propaganda war. Perhaps none of this is true.
Okay, that's cope. The jet is definitely shot down. We know that. Now, what we don't know is are the soldiers captured? Are the airmen captured? That's what matters.
Perhaps they were able to just grab.
My fear is they already have them captured, and they're using the bounty as a tool to draw out U.S. forces and maybe shoot down other aircraft.
Debris and dust it up. This is what CENTCOM is saying, okay? It is I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you. U.S. Central Command is claiming Iran's Revolutionary Guard says it down an enemy fighter jet over Kashim.
This was from earlier. This is not the most recent one.
Island in the Straits of Hormuz, all fighter aircraft are accounted for. Iran's IRGC has made the same false claim at least a dozen times. So at the very least, that is what U.S. Central.
They have absolutely lied a bunch. He's correct on that.
Central Command is saying we, do not affirm this story. So we'll see. This is being again covered
in
widely.
Central Iran. State media have released a series of photos, say, of supposed proof. CNN's Jim Shoutout is live this morning in Tel Aviv.
Bro, I beat CNN, bruh. Chat, let's go. Chat. CNN is an hour and a half behind me, bruh. Yeah, see, he's referring to this. This was 18 hours ago, Benny. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Benny, get with it. This is not the same shoot down. Not the same shoot down. The shoot down that they're talking about was in the Tehran area, not over the Strait of Hormuz. Benny's behind, man. Anyway. Yeah, chat, we beat CNN. Let's go back here.
That its forces downed a U.S. military fighter jet in central Iran. State media have released a series of photos, they say, of supposed proof. CNN's Jim Shoutout is live this morning in Tel Aviv to start us off this hour. Jim, what's the very latest you're hearing about this?
So, Kate, I want to begin again, as I began last hour, by saying we need to be very careful with this. Iranian state media, as you noted, is
they do lie a lot. I'll call that. Iranian state media does lie a lot.
Reporting that Iran has downed a U.S. military jet over Iran. The U.S. military has not yet commented on this or confirmed it, though multiple folks from CNN have now reached out to Central Command asking that exact question. What we do know is that images are emerging online of wreckage from what appears to be a U.S. military aircraft. One particular piece of that wreckage appears to be part of a tail section vertical stabilizer of what would be consistent with an F-15 fighter jet. Now, that is a jet that has two pilots. You may remember that three F-15s were shot down by friendly fire over Kuwait in the early days of this war. So once again, Iran is claiming this. There are a number of images online that show wreckage on the ground, and you have Iranian state TV broadcasting images of that wreckage. But again, we're seeking comment or confirmation from the U.S. military.
Some retard says we're going to capture Karg Island. Yeah, that's going to be tough.
And the U.S. military to date is not yet doing so.
Nigga's name is Quan 3000. Okay, window licker. Yep, no bueno, man. Let's see here. I was told specifically from Trump that this wasn't happening. Yeah, I know. Bullshit, bro. Reuters has now officially confirmed that U.S. fighter jet was shot down over Iran and a search and rescue operation is underway. The Pentagon has responded. The official spoke anonymously. This is the first confirmed U.S. aircraft loss over Iranian territory in this war. Yo. Pete, Keg's breath and Kane are going to have to scramble together a fucking press conference, bro. They're going to have to they're going to have to put something together. Oh, thank God that bitch is off co-host. All right, we go back in, niggas.
Especially with Europe and with all this talk.
God, it's another woman though. Fuck.
Statements that European countries have declined to send ships to open Hormuz, etc., etc. Now,
I can't take it. I'm gonna mute her. Okay. If we get a mic, we'll go back in.
From the populated area.
Operations for a search and rescue effort that could be getting underway here as the U.S. works to verify the claims. The New York Post posting this right here saying Iran claims it shot down U.S. fighter jet as bounty placed on pilot. We'll keep you updated on this and several other different developments as we get them. We do have to head to our final 2-minute commercial break of the hour, but so much more live coverage coming up in just a few. We'll be right back.
Okay. We got a lot of you guys in here fresh. We got 4,000 plus you guys. I think we got almost 5,000 you guys in here. Welcome to the stream, okay? You guys are probably wondering, what the fuck's going on, Myron? Yeah, we're up early, guys. I got off stream late last night. I was just lying in bed and I saw that an F-15 got shot down, okay? So let me give you guys the lowdown, give you guys a summary of what the fuck is going on. As you guys know, we're in the middle of a fucking quagmire war in Iran, okay? We attacked them on February 28th. We tried to do a decapitation strike. We killed the supreme leader and 50 of his top people. We thought that was going to lead to a regime change. Didn't go as planned. What ended up happening was we started a fucking regional war. Within an hour, they started bombing the fuck out of our bases. 13 of our bases in the region have pretty much been destroyed, okay? Or uninhabitable, as the New York Times would say, but pretty much means they're empty, okay? Service members have had to move into civilian areas to go ahead and work, whether it's at hotels or other locations. We've pretty much been displaced all across the Gulf. Okay? Over the past month, the Iranians have been shooting drones and ballistic missiles at bases all across the region: Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, UAE, Oman, right? And at Israel, in Tel Aviv and Haifa especially, okay? Also, Hezbollah in Lebanon has entered the war. The IDF has began a ground invasion into Lebanon. My friends, we're in the middle of World War III. No one's going to call it World War III because we're in the middle of it, but we are in a full-on fucking war in the Middle East, okay? What was supposed to be a fucking weekend excursion, as Trump would say, has now turned into a fucking full-on conflict, okay? Now, let me be clear about this. Militarily, we have destroyed a lot of Iran's infrastructure. We've destroyed their Navy, their Air Force. We have destroyed some of their ballistic missiles, right? Pete Hegseth and Kane are saying that about 90% of their ballistic missiles have been gone. That's not true. I would say we probably destroyed somewhere between a quarter to 1/3. But they're still firing missiles. And they're on like wave 80 something by now, almost at 100 since the war started. Every day they're shooting waves of ballistic missiles into Israel and all across the Gulf region. Okay? Now that we went over a quick summary of what the hell's been going on, right? Escalation ladder, all this other crap. Oh, and by the way, Strait of Hormuz is closed. Forgot to mention that one. Okay? If we look at the fucking charts, okay, on the OSSreport.com, a barrel of crude oil, Brent, this is the one that you guys always use, is $109 right now, okay? That's quite a bit. So if you guys are wondering why the fuck your gas prices have doubled over the past month, this is why, okay? WTI is sitting at about $112 right now. This is the U.S., West Texas Instruments, but to be honest with you guys, this is what the world uses right here, Brent, okay? This is one you go off of. Now, to put things in perspective for you, before this war started, a barrel of crude was sitting at around 60 to 70 bucks, okay? And to give you guys a bit more perspective, anything over $80 is not good. Well, we're well above that. Brent crude hit $140 yesterday, okay? So we're in the middle of a fucking war. We have a global energy fucking crisis because the Strait of Hormuz is closed. And the Iranians have pretty much controlled it, and they're only allowing certain vessels through that are either friendly to them or pay them a fee. And that's where we are. Now, fast forward to today, an F-15 fighter jet was shot down in Iranian territory, okay? As we speak, two of the, I think it was two operators, are currently missing. And there is a search and rescue mission initiated now. Okay, as we speak, there is a search and rescue mission going on right now. So that's kind of the latest with it. And for those of you that don't know, the F-15 Strike Eagle is an American all-weather multi-role strike fighter derived from the McDonnell Douglas 15 Eagle. All right, intended for the dual-role fighter program. It was designed in the 1980s for long-range, high-speed interdiction without relying on escort or electronic warfare aircraft. It can be generally distinguished from other U.S. Eagle variants by darker aircraft camouflage and lantern pods mounted behind the engine intake ramps, blah, blah, blah. Now, I do want to make sure that you guys understand that this fighter jet, right, doesn't have the same level of stealth capability like the F-35 or the F-22. Okay? This is more of like a workhorse, can carry more bombs, right? So that's what it is. It's called the OSSreport.com, guys. All right? Also, do me a favor, smash the like button. Okay? Do me a favor, smash that like button, guys. All right? Let's see, did I get a mic? I don't think so. What the fuck? Let me refresh this shit. Bear with me, guys. Holy shit. This guy Pooh Shicey's retarded. All right, we'll cover this later. Let's get back to this. So now you guys should know what's going on.
During this search, officers reviewed neighborhood surveillance video and gathered information from residents in an attempt to locate Marcus.
Wait, what the fuck? Murder suspect found hiding in salon basement in Kenosha, Washington?
At approximately 2 p.m., the initial perimeter was closed after we had no new developments in the area. Later that day, at 5 p.m., Kenosha Police Department and Kenosha County Sheriff's Office SWAT teams executed a joint SWAT team warrant in the 7300 block of 31st Avenue. This address is directly associated with Marcus. He was not located at the residence at that time. Overnight, our resources and personnel continued to follow up on leads regarding Marcus's whereabouts. Early in the morning today, new information indicated that Marcus may be in the area of 75th Street and 23rd Avenue. We established a command post, and search teams were directed to systematically check the area. During these efforts, we received updated intelligence that led officers to a potential location at 2300 75th Street. Officers made contact with the business and conducted a thorough search, including the basement, where we located Marcus hiding amongst some of the debris that was down there. While officers were attempting to take Marcus into custody, he injured himself with a knife that he had armed himself with. He was stabilized on scene by responding personnel. The Kenosha Fire Department personnel responded to provide further medical aid. Marcus was then transported by ambulance to a local hospital where he is being treated. He is currently in stable condition.
All right, hold on. What the fuck? Is that a down helicopter? I heard about this, but I don't know if it's true. They did say that they took out a U.S. helicopter. A Black Hawk UH helicopter has been shot down and crashed near the borders of Iran. I'm always reluctant, dude, to believe Iranian media. They lie a lot, dude. They lie a lot. So, but I did hear that too. Iran's going to make down 9 U.S. fighter jets since the war started. Well, we know 2 of them went down in Kuwait. Tweezy Soul says, new here from Rumble. Oh, no, sorry. Was that? He says, if I'm Iran, no torture. I would show he's alive and being taken care of because right now Iran has public support, which is rare. Yeah, they'll torture them behind the scenes, though. They're not going to torture them, like, publicly, bro. Iran had Teva Pharmaceutical in Israel, the world's largest genetic medication manufacturer. Really? When was that? When was that? What the fuck is this? Okay. If you stick up for, yeah, this girl's a dumbass. It's not about sticking up for Iran. It's about not getting into a fucking retarded war. Oh, yeah. Pete Hegseth fired 2 generals, by the way, David Hodin and William Green, along with Army Chief. From what I understand, these guys are not pro-war. Okay, so Suleiman's reporting, unconfirmed Iranian report indicates the successful targeting of an American helicopter during search operations. Look, I'll tell you this, bro. See, this was a real risk. Because helicopters during search and rescues are very vulnerable because they got to fly low, man. So, there you go. I told Suleiman to start up a space. It's Friday. Is PBD live right now? Let's see if PBD's live. Let's see. Don't they go live on Fridays? Oh, yeah, they're live. Let's see here.
Constitution, this is what happens. I mean, they don't have the First Amendment.
Let me read this, and then I'm going to come to you. Let me read this, and I'm going to come to you. So you're hearing this, okay? So here we go. Canada wants to make quoting the Bible illegal. This is The Spectator, 2 days ago. Easter's almost here, and Canada's Liberal government has chosen the sacred season to display its utter contempt for Christianity. It's currently forcing through...
Yapping some shit here. Let's see what Netanyahu's got to say. This came an hour ago. This fucking guy, bro, in the fucking language. Okay, basically it says the Air Force destroys 70% of Iran's steel production capacity. This is a tremendous achievement that deprives the Revolutionary Guard of both financial sources and the ability to produce a large number of weapons. In full coordination between myself and President Trump, between IDF and the U.S. Army, will continue to crush Iran. This regime is weaker than ever. Israel is stronger than ever. And Lebanon, we continue to strike Hezbollah hip and thigh. We continue to expand the security zone and establish it to protect the northern settlements. Well, a lot of IDF soldiers have been getting killed and your tanks have been getting blown up, but that's okay. So, real life Call of Duty, a former Special Forces commando ran a private hit squad out of a $7 million San Diego mansion, $1.5 million a month plus bonuses per kill. Former Navy SEALs and Army operators collecting $40K monthly to eliminate targets. The team flew out of New Jersey on a chartered jet with with body armor, explosive MREs, and 3 cases of Bessel Hayden's whiskey. Drone footage captured 1 hit, explosives ripping through a building, a booby-trapped SUV detonating, plans to throw grenades and shoot everyone inside. Target escaped minutes before the blast. He now lives in exile. I'm confused. What is? Oh, he's like some mercenary niggas? All right. Yeah, so Reuters confirmed it. Who are the hosts? God, still have this fucking woman.
The outrageous Bill C-9, which could make it...
Either follow me or you will follow that.
Ilan, what were you raised as?
I was born as Jewish.
You're born as Jewish. When did you become a Christian?
Well, I became an atheist for a while. I went through a lot of stuff. And then I had a friend who started telling me, hey, come to church, visit me, you know, like, just try it out. I was working on the show Loki. My friend took me to a monastery. And it was the first time that I felt at peace in a very long time. I've suffered from depression for most of my life. I've suffered
every
from
single time, every single crime,
and this was
every single
out of everything I've ever experienced in my life. That was the first time I felt
every single hour, every single day, every single night.
I cried. I was sitting there.
I know it's hard to believe it's the whole forest, not one tree, and it's every branch and leaf.
Carrying this burden. You talk about it's not me.
But I'm telling you the truth. It's not just one or two. It's every single Jew.
I finally found a home where I was like,
And it really breaks my heart.
this relationship is something bigger than myself can finally be shared. And I tell everyone this, there's nothing other than Christianity that will cure alcohol. There's nothing other than Christianity that will truly clear your depression or your whatever you're going through. Because it's and yeah, it's been tremendous. I had a friend who, sorry, not to go on for a long time, but I had a friend who's like, what do you mean you believe in this now? What's going on? Because when you're raised Jewish, it's very hard to believe that you're also that. And my Jewish identity is important. But I said it makes me a better person. So I don't care what anyone tells me. I don't care what anyone believes about me. It makes me a better person.
Yo. Well. Every single time. Yo, man. Bruh.
Oy vey, they know we run the banks. Oy vey, they know we pimp the skanks.
All right.
For anybody that has a problem with the Jews being in Jerusalem, it's in the name. Judea, Jerusalem. The Bible is the greatest book of all time. It's the, the old version and the new version.
Did you guys notice that he said, I'm an atheist Jew? There's only one group of people that can do that, chat.
Bombakat!
Only one group of people that can do that. There's no such thing as an atheist Muslim or an atheist fucking Christian. No such thing. Only one group of people can do that.
Of all time to walk to earth. I get in arguments with my Jewish friends. I say, why don't you have a little more respect for Jesus? They go, I don't believe he was God. I said, that doesn't mean you shouldn't have respect for him.
Bro, he's a sorcerer, bro. Come on, Adam. Come on, Adam.
His mother, Jewish, father, Jewish, all the wise, everyone around him was Jewish. He was questioning authority, questioning establishment.
Well, his father wasn't Jewish. But go ahead, finish. I'm sorry, I just want to.
Don't pull a Tom right now.
Father.
The reality is we need to work closer to.
Bro had to make that correction.
Apart. There's a crazy segment of the world that some people don't want to name. And that crazy segment of the world, whether it's 1% or...
Here we go.
It's millions of people, and that is called radical Islam.
I knew it.
The story started out with Nigeria, did it not?
Yep.
What's going on in Nigeria? I didn't even know this story. Didn't Trump bomb Nigeria a couple months ago? Did he not? Didn't you have a shirt?
He didn't bomb. He sent troops. Well,
Okay.
I thought that they sent troops.
Yeah, they said no. They bombed it.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see it.
So, but I thought he did do something in Nigeria. But genuine question.
They did limited strikes, bro.
About Nigeria as Americans.
What do you mean?
Why should we care about Nigeria? There's so much going on in the world.
Because
Iran, Gaza, Israel,
because they're Christian.
Sudan.
Are you actually? Is it
Haiti?
rhetorical or?
No, I'm asking.
Because
so why
these
should
are
we care about?
defenseless Christians that are just in churches.
You're okay
praying to. Hold on. You asked me. Let me finish.
Yeah.
They're
Guys, smash the like button for me. Do me a favor. Smash that like button and just.
They're all getting massacred, and they have
By who?
nothing. They have nobody.
By
Whatever all these guys are.
So
well, Islam, it's mostly Fulanis, ISWAP,
and Boko Haram,
is
an Islamic terrorist organization. Should we just negotiate with them? Do you think they'll listen, or do we have to do something about it?
No, we have to go in and help them, but because
you-
nobody's
These
helping.
that
them.
are
So
burgeoning
you
right
okay in
now.
Nigeria, having American boots on the ground.
I 100%.
So, but you don't want American boots on the ground in Iran. I thought you said.
I don't want wait. Why are they defenseless? Are they wait? Time out. You can't compare defenseless Christians in Nigeria that are in wooden stone buildings praying to God and getting massacred. They're just out there by themselves.
Can't you argue that they're doing the exact same thing in Iran? Defenseless people praying to God. The largest growing religion in Iran is what?
Then say
Christianity.
Okay, but if you're going to
so
say
there's innocent Christians being killed there too.
Yeah, but if you're going to
so where do you draw the line
no,
on boots on the ground?
This is two completely different.
I don't think it is.
I think it's two completely different things, Adam. Because when they've been for 47 years under this thing. Everybody, it's not just America that wanted.
Kraft.
We're going
this
in and we
will
win
be a concern
because
for the United
Marco
States. Because of
Rubio
course we kept hearing from Donald Trump how they have air superiority over Iran, how they could operate at will. Clearly, if planes are being shot,
yeah, that was a lie.
Stand up.
Right, as you say, this will be a concern. What is at stake here? I mean, if this is confirmed, it would be the first time a U.S. aircraft with crew would have been shot down during this specific conflict.
Well, it's important to point out that the United States say they've carried out more than 12,000 missions in Iran. The intention was that they would absolutely degrade the Iranian military. Intelligence reports surfacing overnight suggested that actually the Iranian military hasn't been quite degraded as much as Donald Trump is saying.
Also, guys, I'm going to explain to you guys the different levels of air superiority, by the way, okay? I'll explain that after we cover this story here, because it's very important that you guys understand this.
Defenses as well. And also they have a significant number of drones that they're able to bring into this fight. This will be a concern for Donald Trump. And also it's a political concern as well. You can't keep saying that you have completely destroyed the Iranian Air Force, all their defenses, and then possibly find out that a crew member has been shot down. And as has been reported, it's being said in Turkey that the Iranian authorities are offering a cash reward for the return of the crew member or members alive. And that will be a concern for the United States as well, that suddenly if a crew member is found and handed over to the authorities, that the Iranians have a huge bargaining chip. But remember, at this stage, this is all...
Yeah, no, definitely no after hours today. Fuck that shit, bro. We got bigger news and bigger shit going on right now.
Want to, and if they want to, because clearly they have operational issues, security and other things to consider before they make any public statement on this.
Alan Fisher, our chief U.S. correspondent in Washington there. Thank you very much for that, Alan. Let's discuss this further now with David DeRoche, who's a professor at Thayer Marshall Institute and a former Pentagon director of Arabian Peninsula Affairs. David is joining us from Washington, D.C. Thank you for coming on, David. As Alan said, there no confirmation yet from CENTCOM, but quite concerning.
Guys, do me a favor. We got, what, 3,600 plus? Yeah, we got about 6,000 you guys in here, 6,000 you guys in here. Smash the like button for me, guys.
If this is confirmed, how unusual, first of all, is the downing of a U.S. fighter jet in combat?
Well, given the pace of combat and the duration, it's to be expected. It's something that you plan for, but of course it's traumatic. And given the fact that there's, Iran is the Iranian Republic was born in a hostage-taking incident. It has a potential to revive rather unpleasant memories for Americans in specific. But the F-15 is a 40-year-old platform. They've been flying 500, 800 missions for about a month now. So it would be surprising if we had not lost one or...
Yeah, I'm not going to be on YouTube much longer, guys. So get ready to switch over to Kick in a little bit here.
Have confirmation, I think, on the sort of aircraft is it? What's the significance, rather, if it's an F-15? Would that mean more than one crew member?
So what I've seen, and this could be staged or it could be debris from other accidents or training flights or even the 3 F-15s that were shot down by the Kuwaitis. But what I've seen is the indications that it is an F-15E, which is a two-person model from the 494th Fighter Squadron. Which is based at RAF Lakenheath in England,
but
right
is
operated extensively in the Middle East. So that's a modified version of the standard F-15 only has one crew member. I've also seen a photograph, and I don't know how authentic it is, but it shows an ejection seat without somebody in it. So that would indicate that there's at least one of the crew members has safely ejected and is evading capture. I've also seen social media from Iran that shows the kind of assets that would be normally associated with a downed crewman rescue in action. So I think right now, it's more likely than not that it was an F-15E, that it was brought down. It looks as though it was brought down due to enemy action, which was probably a portable air defense system, which,
right.
Even though the overall air defense network is gone, they can still function. And it looks like there's at least one crew member and hopefully two that are still.
I was going to ask you precisely about that, David. The fact that, over a month now into this conflict, I mean, we've heard the U.S. say that they have air superiority. They claim air superiority in Iran. The fact that the Iranians are able to carry out...
I'm going to explain the latter for you guys here in a second.
...such an act, what does that signal about their capabilities a month into this conflict?
Well, it signals that a lot of people don't know what air superiority means. The United States has air superiority over the continental United States, but if somebody has a man-portable air defense weapon and they get on the flight path from Los Angeles International Airport, they can bring down a jet. So when you talk about air superiority, what you mean is the ability to mass forces and conduct basically unopposed air operations in those areas that you've massed forces. But the country on the ground still has the ability to move small units, particularly man-portable units, in areas where they can put low-flying aircraft particularly at risk. So air superiority is a sort of general term, but it doesn't indicate that you have total freedom for carte blanche over the area there. An enemy can always mass small assets in areas that are vulnerable for low-flying aircraft and achieve an effect like this. And it's also quite possible this could be a mechanical failure, but I think that that's increasingly unlikely.
Yeah.
Not a mechanical failure, bro.
As you say, we don't know what's happened, whether it's a mechanical failure or whether it was indeed shot down by the Iranians. There is going to be, no doubt, a propaganda battle that's going to occur now on both sides in the wake of something like this, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely, particularly if they manage to take a prisoner.
Okay, guys, I'm going to explain the air superiority ladder. We're switching over to Kick, guys. I'm going to end the YouTube stream here. I've been on for 2 hours with you guys. We're going over to Kick. You guys know that's my main platform. I don't get paid to be on fucking YouTube. Still do it for you guys because it's that important. Come on over. We're gonna do more coverage. I'm gonna cover the dominance ladder for you guys so you guys understand air superiority, air parity, and then air dominance. Okay? Big fucking difference between all three. So let's go through. Come on over to Kick, guys. Kick.com/MyronGainsX. We're gonna continue over there. Come on over, niggas. I'm ending the YouTube stream here. Okay? I'm ending the YouTube stream. Go over to Kick. Kick.com/MyronGainsX. Okay? Myron Gains X. I feel this Iran war is going to play out like Afghanistan, only worse. I hope not. IDF oh, wow. Jarhead says IDF 120 killed. Wow. 213 IDF tanks. They're getting fucked up. Great noticing an atheist Jew wants ethnic supremacy, probably. Would you rather get beat up by... Okay, bro. Did you see that washed rapper Iggy Azalea? Yeah, I cooked her yesterday. Since the government hasn't made a statement on the fighter jet, would he be more inclined to believe that it's true? 100% is true. Didn't Max after Glacier talk about how America had air supremacy? Yeah, he's a retard, bro. That's why I tell y'all niggas he's an idiot. If these troops are captured, will this cause a shift in American minds that are for the war? Probably will. Would you say if we get captured, they could be torture hostages? Yes, they definitely will be. Good morning, Myron from California. I tried looking up the details for when you came to Riverside. I can't find anything on Censored America's website. Where can I? It's going to be the 7th at 12 o'clock. Is North Korea... Okay, we're caught up there. Perfect. Okay, guys. Ending the YouTube stream now.